Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Planetside 2. It's been a little while since I played this game, and there's been a few things that have really piqued my interest as of late. Most notably the fact that there's a lot of content coming out really soon, like the new continent, Hossin, which has been in development for, it seems, about eternity now. We were actually supposed to get it like ages ago. And it's just been delayed and delayed and delayed. I know the devs are trying to get everything right. It's not like releasing a new map necessarily for most games. It's pretty much reinventing the ways that continents connect to each other, because I believe Hossin is coming out with battle isles as well. And those of course have to go through their own balancing process. And I know the devs are really concerned with making sure that they don't release things that can upset the flow of gameplay, because it's not like another shooter where you come out with a new gun or a new map and say the new map sucks and nobody plays it, so you just disregard it and go back and play the original maps. Well, in Planetside, adding new continents, or at least the ways that things travel between continents, could effectively upset the entire flow of gameplay, and so everything has to be measured and tweaked and made sure that it's working properly so that they don't actually upset the entire flow of gameplay in Planetside 2. And speaking of upsetting the flow of gameplay, I'm certainly upsetting the new conglomerate infantry that are hanging out on this hilltop. They've got a base here and they keep coming out onto the hillside, and they are just cannon fodder for the splash damage on this lightning tank. I've got it set up for the high explosive, or the explosive rounds that have great splash damage to take care of the infantry. And so I kind of clear off the hilltop here, and then notice the other hilltop on the other side of us is the Terran Republic. So like many things that happen in Planetside 2, three-way battles are very commonplace. You just don't want to be stuck in the middle of them like we pretty much are right now. And somehow Vanu was managing to hold themselves pretty well, even when they were basically caught in between the NC and TR. The TR in this situation, however, have the high ground advantage, so getting splash damage shots is very difficult with the lightning. So I decided to just kind of go all in and try and get some road kills, fail kind of miserably there, get one on the way down of the hill, and then realize that there's about 30 guys looking at me and I have about 2 seconds to live. So I'm going to try and get one shot off before I can bail out of this thing. So I get a lucky little kill there, bail out, and go for some cover behind some rocks before I get absolutely plastered. And from here I really don't have anywhere to go, so I'm just kind of holding out, waiting for them to send down infantry to eventually finish me off, which doesn't take too long. But one of the really cool new things in Planetside that has been updated since I last played is the kill card. Now check this out. It shows you your entire score progression of that life, who killed you, lots of information about the guns that were being used, your new upcoming awards and stuff like that. I really like this addition to the game, especially considering that Planetside 2 is really a data-driven game. People analyze things like crazy, you know, which parts of the map are the hot points, which is the best way to attack certain bases, the damage stats of all guns and vehicles and stuff like that. So having a much more complex kill card that shows you exactly what was going on in that life definitely fits into the mentality of Planetside 2, and it's something that I appreciate a lot. Now, one of the coolest things about having a game that is a free-to-play model, aside from the fact that anybody can get into it and try playing it, is that the revenue generating system works in a different way from your traditional game, where most of the revenue comes in at launch and then you sort of get more revenue as expansions come out and stuff like that. But it generally trickles off. With Planetside, you have revenue that should be constantly generating because it is player driven. It's basically player store driven. So you buy new guns, new optics, that sort of stuff, and money comes into Planetside, and this can basically give them a much more stable platform to have a developer team working on the game all the time, which allows them to have things like the Planetside 2 roadmap, which is basically a list of tentative updates that are coming and when they're coming out. Like Hossin is scheduled for May. There's updates coming to vehicles, new guns, that sort of thing, and they're all listed in the Planetside 2 roadmap. So it's very cool to have a game that doesn't have like an end date in sight. You know, there isn't like, this is the last expansion coming out and then we're gonna start working on the next title. It's Planetside 2, it's still making money, and they're gonna continue to work on it and develop new content for it. And to me, that really does further enhance the idea of it being a persistent world. I mean, Planetside 2 is essentially a persistent world, but the idea that there's people constantly looking at the game to try and improve it and balance it. And if there's one thing that Planetside 2 has shown shown throughout its development course is that the devs are not afraid to change things up. If they look at something that's not working out, they will remodel it completely. A lot of the continents and bases have been tweaked or rehauled or removed completely, and it just goes to show that they're like, you know what, this area of the game isn't working so well, let's just redesign it. And that's something that I really love about this game. At the same time, this mentality does slow down the development of new content, which is kind of funny because one of my favorite things about this game is also the thing that slows down the development of new content, and that's also one of my biggest criticisms of this game, is how slow it seems to progress with the new things. Like, as I mentioned earlier, Hossin was supposed to come out just ages ago and is scheduled for next month, but things have always been delayed so much with this game that it's hard to tell. So one of my favorite things about this game also attributes to one of my biggest criticisms about this game. And here I am in my second favorite tank in the game, the Mag Ryder. This thing is the hover tank. The turret is built into the actual body of the tank, so to actually turn the turret, you have to turn the whole body of the tank, which can make precision aiming a little bit tricky sometimes, but it means the tank is crazy maneuverable, and it just really allows you to scoot around the battlefield very easily. But of course, one of my favorite things to do in this game is fly the scythe around. Now, the scythe has definitely been balanced a lot more since the game first came out, and there's been a huge update to anti-air weaponry, so you definitely have to be more careful with how you fly air vehicles in this game now. But you can still be very devastating, especially if you've stayed up to date with the game and you're very familiar with just how things work. Now, I'm doing a bit of air-to-air combat here and taking out some of the NC as they seem to be coming out of their warp gate. You can really amass a ton of points flying this thing around because, as you'll see when I get kills, air kills here especially, you get massive vehicle point kills and points for taking out the pilot and gunner. So talented pilots can really move through the ranks at lightning speed. At the same time, you need to spend a lot of points in your scythe to make it more and more effective. So if you are ranking up a lot, chances are you're going to be putting a lot of those points right back into your scythe rather than ranking up all of the other classes in the game. So anyway, I'm trying to keep my skills current with Planetside 2. It's a lot of fun provided you end up in the right battle. Let me know if you guys want to see more Planetside 2 content, perhaps some gameplay, team play Planetside 2 stuff, playing with Matimio or some of the guys from Squad Up. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.